Hi guys, welcome back to West Coast Gamers. It's Teasdale here and we have got another video for you. Again, I'm assuming you aren't sick of it because you're still here. It's another blue-white Reanimator deck. This one, I think I've got a bit crazy. So what I've decided to do is, if you can't beat them, join them. I was trying to find a 2-drop that fit the slot that was great against Fae. The closest I found was Dawnbringer Cleric, but it's not in the air. So from that, I've put in 4 Fairy Seers, 4 Spellstutter Sprites, and that's basically the main changes I've made to the deck. 4 Spellstutters, 4 Seers, hopefully counter their fairies while also blocking them. Gets us into the late game. Soul and Later Dinner will take over the game. I have ended up cutting the Riverwinders from the deck. I think they were pretty medium overall, but they did have some matchups where they were pretty good, and with blue-white in particular, not having the removal to clear the way meant that a soul evoked or a few fairies and ninjas can just block them and trade with it, and you have nothing really you can do. So I was a bit unimpressed in the blue-white shell, but hey, we'll move on and we'll try and counter some fairies with Spellstutter Sprite. We've still got the loops like Archaeomancer Ephemerates. We've run up to 4 Ephemerates now that we have 4 Spellstutter Sprites, which I think is going to be quite cool to see how many spells we can get with Ephemerate on Spellstutter. We unfortunately I have cut a journey, so we are down to only 2 journeys in the main, so our removal is really weak, and we're basically hoping to just be on the board and be a lot better on the board than the other decks. This makes me concerned about the aggro matchups a lot more than normal. We are particularly bad against them anyways, but even more than normal. If you see the previous league, there was quite a bit of aggro about that. I was quite shocked that we were against them, but again, they are leagues, you can verse against anything. So I am trying to hope to hone against the fairies and the Boros decks, and if we don't verse against them, fair enough, it's variance. But that's where the leagues come in anyways. Moving on to the sideboard, we have pretty standard sideboard of what we've had previously. We've got 3 Dust to Dust. I've up to Dust to Dust just to increase the wildfire matchups more than anything. Making sure we see that the Dust to Dust is probably pretty key in that matchup. The Jeskai Ephemerates and the Jund wildfire decks. Just keeping them down on mana is where we want, and then we win that. Once they're on parity or we're ahead, that's where we take over the game. Just having access to more mana is just infinitely better for us. We have got the 2 Revoke Existences still. I still think it's quite weak, graveyard-wise, compared to the likes of Evoke and Familiars. So we need the Revokes just in case, even if we board them in Game 3 just for the Relic that we see in Game 2, for example. That's still something I'm fine with. Tormod Script for the graveyard decks, just so we don't hit our own like Relic. Gutshot and the one I've went down to 1 Holy Light because obviously we are running our own fairies, so they are worse. But I still think we need it against the likes of elves and Fae as well. But it's just less likely to need it because of the Spellstutters and the Fairy Seers. We have 2 Last Breaths just to kill those ninjas, really. Just something else instead of that Holy Light, just to try and get them. And then 3 Blue Elemental Blasts because of Burn, Pyroblasts, these sort of things, pretty standard. So yeah, that is the deck tech, and I will see you guys for round 1. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and please do not forget to like and subscribe. Hi guys, welcome to round 1, and we are on the play, and this hand is an easy mulligan. This hand is a very weak keep, but happy to keep it, I think. We will just send back one of the planes. So we are going to lead off on... I think we're just going to lead off on... Maybe we're not going to lead off on Preordain here. Maybe we're just going to hold up Ash Barons. Just because we need the 2 blue for the counterspell. It's a bit annoying because if this was an island, I would just Preordain here. Second main phase. Basic one cycle. Oh, nearly. So yeah, we're just gonna hold a counterspell here. Very weird. So most likely, probably burn as a guess, but again, I'm unsure. Just don't understand the mountain start. The good old 1 mountain pass. From this, I'm just gonna Preordain. I do have a land drop. Actually, quite a good draw here. I'm gonna top both of these, but top the spell stutter first, to then counter a 1-drop if he plays it, and then I can lead on Fairy Seer spell stutter next turn. 1-drop, Lightning Bolt. Yeah, so I'm literally just gonna spell stutter this. And we do have Ephemerate counterspell open as options, but I still think we play the Fairy Seer because we can still spell stutter with the Ephemerate open, and we just want to hit our land drops here. Both of these are good cards, but I think again we need to be a lot stricter and just try and hit our land drops here. Get him for that chip damage. We need to let Burn know we are the aggressive. Is he moving to discard? It's good for us. Now we can actually hold up Crab, Counterspell, and Ephemerate if he does actually end up hitting a land drop. Unfortunate for the opponent. There we have it. Easy game 1. Game 2. Bring in the 3 Blue Elemental Blasts. I think we want some number of Last Breaths as well. Main reason is the most likely got Thermal Alchemist, which is a problem. They may board into Firebrand Archer as well, which can also be a problem. And worst case scenario, we can target our own stuff to gain 4. This is me going off the entire assumption that it is burn from 1 mountain and a lightning bolt. So I think we want to cut 2 souls, maybe even 3. I think journeys are awkward, but I do think we want to keep them in, mainly for hitting the Thermal Alchemist. Answering a Thermal Alchemist is probably a big thing for us. Dawnbringers are good for life, incremental life gain. They're not the greatest, so I can maybe see shaving 1 and probably just cut all the souls. Maybe. I think we need 1 for a win condition. Maybe it's a late to dinner. Or it could actually be an ephemerate. Shaver an ephemerate. We'll see how that goes. Pretty happy with this keep. Pass turn. So we're just going to lead off on Fairy Seer, I think. We want an island, preferably. Those are both keepable. I think the Preordain actually maybe isn't, but the Beb definitely is, obviously. And we'll go from there. It'll be interesting, because he conceded so early, seeing Fairy Seer Spellstutter Sprite, if he boards in like we are fairies of some description. So that could be quite interesting. So if he plays a Curse. Oh! Festival Crasher. Well, that's a different deck than what I thought it was. So, what do we want to do? I think I'm going to start by land cycling this. Get ourselves an island. And I think I'm just going to Blue Elemental Blast this now. Just get out the way. If we feel like we need to, we can ephemerate the Seer just to help our draws a bit. And we can obviously use that with Preordain if we see fit. Kiln Fiend. Big scary guy. Sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass here. Hold back and pass. Well, counterspell Ephemerate, so I can Ephemerate the Seer if I block, and I can have the counterspell up for a team of Battle Rage. Obviously, if he plays a land, he might have a Pyroblast or a Red Elemental Blast. Reckless Impulse. Hasn't played a land. I think I'm just going to counter this, you know. Might be a bit greedy, but I think I'm fine with that. Once he allows me to. And then end of turn I can just Ephemerate the Fairy Seer, or block and Ephemerate the Fairy Seer. So yeah, I'm just going to counterspell. This might be a bit hasty as such, but I think I'm fine. If he attacks, I'm just going to block and Ephemerate here. Move the blockers. And Ephemerate this. Fairy Seer, Blue Elemental Blast. We probably don't want the second Seer, but obviously we definitely want the Blast. So I'm fine with this. I'm just gonna Blue Elemental Blast this Preordain. And we also get another look. Island is also good. So yeah, we just top, draw one of them. Preordain. Spellstutter is a good draw also. Yeah, I don't want to miss on my land drops, so... And then we'll just blow the Mental Blast this now. And then we can attack for 2. Oh no, we can't. It came to place then. My bad. And it's also 1. I don't really know what I was thinking. He's probably got another guy. He finally hit his 3rd land drop. Reckless Impulse is fine. Hit 2 lands. And after he plays a mountain as well. Unfortunate. I can greed out this Mole Drifter. So if I play this Mole Drifter here and invoke it, I can try and hit an island. I can also just hold up. If I tap the 3 islands, hit Ephemerate, that's bonus. If I hit an island, that's also fine. If I hit Ash Barrens, I have 2 Ash Barrens in the deck. I'd like to leave an island open, but I think that's the only situation that's worse. I think I'm happy enough to go for just the Evoke, hold up, potentially Ephemerate. Gain some life. Attack for 1. Maybe I should have took all the souls out. Maybe I didn't need the Soul of Migration. When this fairy series, the fairy that could. Apologies, guys. He didn't do anything. He just passed from his main to begin the combat. End the combat. And he ended his turn. So I think I'm just gonna let it in at this Mole Drifter, because this means that if I get an untapped land, I can hold it up. Never mind. Well, there's my untapped land, which I probably don't need anymore. 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think we can keep a Preordain. Just play the land. And attack for 1. Little fairy seer that could. No! Okay, that's fine. 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 6. Reckless Impulse. Crusher, Anger. Okay. Crash is fine. Well, at least I think it's fine. It's got 4 cards in hand. And we can hold up Counterspell and Spellstutter Sprite. And crack food, if we see fit. I don't mind that. And we can also use the Spellstutter Sprite to block. Seems fine by me. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think the counterspell's going to aim for something like Assault Strobe or Team of Battle Rage or whatever it is that the of their choice. Manamorphose with 4 cards in hand. Manamorphose doesn't give this trample, so I'm not particularly worried. I'm just going to count on this because this does with the Spellstutter Sprite. He also needs a lot more spells with the Festival Crasher than he does a Kiln Fiend. Manamorphose in a Manamorphose, sure. So yeah, I'm going to try and spell stutter this anger here. Just because it gives it trample is the main reason. Is in the tank. Resolves. Does the ability. Nope. Still got 4 in hand. One mana floating. Another anger. At this point I can take a hit and I don't need a block. It's more the double strike I need to worry about then. Because if he angers here and has a Team of Battle Rage, I die. So 4 cards in hand, so beginning of combat. Okay. So this, if he casts 1 spell, it goes to 13. That's 26. This is 25. That can go to 25. So there's no reason to block. 11 plus 2, 13. Doubled is 26. No blocks. I'm alive. Easy. Didn't die. Wasn't worried in the slightest. Kiln Fiend. That can eat a counterspell. If he has a red elemental blast, he has a red elemental blast. Yeah. Seems like he does. Cool. This makes me glad that I boarded in the last breaths at least. 14. Spellstutter is also pretty good again. So I cast this. He has 2 cards in hand. So we have 2 blockers here. There's the last breath as well. So if he has a mutagenic growth, then he can buff this, but then he goes down to 1 spell, which I think I'm fine with. Let me just do this. Do this now. If he has a spell to buff it, then it's a spell that he has to buff it in my turn, not his turn. So that's fine. My main aim here is not to die. Cool. With 2 cards in his hand. That's fine. And then we have 2 counter spells up for next turn if we do survive. I'm just not attacking here. As I do plan to basically double block here. Reckless Impulse. Oh no. Please whiff. Whiff. 1 time. Apostle's Blessing. Well, there goes my triple block. I'm not going to block with this or this at this point. So if he attacks here, that's so that's 5 with this. Actually, I'm going to block with the Mole Drifter. It is worse if I draw like an Ephemerate, for example, because I would rather obviously have the Mole Drifter, but I think this is fine. This gives me more scenarios where I'm least likely to die. I want to keep this because I can basically then counter his whole deck with the spell stutter, which might be wrong. And there's no point in double blocking because he will just Apostle's Blessing, when I can just give him a scenario where he can't cast this. Cool. Fairy Sea is good as well. Let's just... I don't think Dawnbringer is what we want, even though we could exile an Anger, for example, but I don't think it's what we really want. And Mirror Shell Crab's a big bomb, but again, I don't think it's what we want either. We can use it to stop a trigger, but I don't think that's where we want to be. And he's flooding out, so I'm happy to put those on the bottom. I'm just going to attack for one here. I'm not attacking. I'm not going to block with it, so. Got another Reckless Impulse. Archer. We will counterspell this. If he does use his last card, that is fine, which is a... Nope. Okay. Apostle's Blessing targeting this. Sure. That is fine. Pro Blue. Sure. I'm down to 12 here. I'm assuming it's like a Team of Battle Rage or a Bolt. Or it could obviously just be a land. Not really what we want. But attack for one again. I'm going to use this to block because there is only trample that I am concerned about. We can obviously flash in the spell stutter for that. Maybe I should have held it back to triple block, but I think there's a lot of good draws in our deck to not necessarily do that for so many turns. Another Festival Crasher. I'm going to spell stutter this. Nice. And he didn't play that. And then he attacks for one. He could also not attack because he's concerned about another spell stutter. I'm not blocking here. We are just going to get a island. Tranquil Cove. Do we need to... I'm just going to play the island so he doesn't know what the other card in hand is. I'm not going to attack. I'm not going to threaten a triple block here. Hopefully end up having a staring competition. Until we find an answer to this Festival Crasher. He is attacking. I'm just going to make him have it here. He had the Apostle's Blessing, right? Okay, that's fine. This is perfectly fine. Cool. Probably it's fine. His last card is a Celtic. Oh god. We need to draw something good. Well, that was a good draw. We have a Mole Drifter in the bin. Gives us a food token as well, which is nice. Draw 2. Faenimator. Not really what we want, but another blocker is also good. And we do get a Scry, a Last Breath, and a Spell Stutter. So Last Breath is obviously good. Spell Stutter. I think I'm going to top both here. Top the Last Breath to draw its turn. Play a land. And we're basically going to chump the Faenimator into the Festival Crasher and block the Muldrifter on the Kiln Fiend, depending on obviously what he draws. And assuming he attacks. Nope. He could attack with this. There's no cards in hand, so I actually think maybe I would block this and then leave this. But I don't think the attacks are particularly good for him. I don't think he's going to cast 15 spells anytime soon, so I'm just going to get rid of this. I'm not going to play my land. I'm just going to hold these back as blockers. So I need to go whiff this turn, and then the spell stutter will hopefully get there. Lava Dart. It's not a bad draw. It's also quite good against the Spell Stutter Sprite as well. I'm not going to chump the Crasher, and I'm not going to block the the Fire Breather either, because he can Lava Die. But I will make that block next turn. Six, 7, 11, no attacks. 12, 13. 13 of our lands out, so 8 bad draws. This could get really awkward, but I'm going to block this just for general saving of damage here. I'm assuming he's going to Lava that now. Sure. And then I'm assuming he's Lava Dart tagging the Muldrifter, yeah. So then we Spell Stutter the Lava Dart. So then it is still just a jump. Yeah, we take 3.6. We still need some good draws here. Journey is a good one. What am I worried about the most here? Oh god. I still think it has to be the Festival Crasher, surely. And this also could be another Apostle's Blessing, but cool. So now he has no good attacks, but we also might be dead. There's many outs here that he has that kill us. We have 25 cards left in our deck, and we've seen no Archaeomancers. No attacks. It's good for us. Preordain also a good draw. Bottom. That's a clock. It's a clock, which is good, but it also just means, again, the guards are down, so we might just die. We are on 6. This guy's got to be really cautious of his time. He has only 9 minutes and we're in game 2. There's 3 cards. Island is not what we want. For leave. These back. This plays around Apostle's Blessing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't play around Cannonade very well. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm just gonna make the same attacks again. 7, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go. And swing for 7. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. Is that it? Has he got any responses? Nope. Whew. Thought we were going to die there. He had so many dead draws. I have no idea what he drew there that didn't kill us. I have not a clue. But that's it. That is round 1, and I will see you guys for round 2. Hi guys, welcome to round 2, and we are on the draw. And unfortunately, the 2 planes have come to absolutely ruin our day. So this is an easy mulligan. Planes is at it again. It's a bit awkward, like really slow, but I think I'm going to keep this. Probably not send them back the crab. Maybe not the. Maybe we just greed out the chancery here and keep the seer, keep the preordain to scry for lands. We could actually send back the planes. And we can't really. The only issue is we can't turn to seer or preordain with that line because we can't end the turn Ash Barrens. Maybe we just send back crab and hope to draw something better. Because the Ephemerate can be used with a Muldrift to get us out of this. Yeah, let's try that. Bogles. Bogles, I'm assuming. Yep. Island. See ya. Crab. Crab Island. I like the island and I like the crab, so I think I'm going to keep both. If he doesn't put a rancor or anything on this, I can. If he just puts a big dumb enchantment. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Maybe the crab was a bit greedy. But still no attacks. Counterspell open. Not going to do anything here. He's stuck on 1 land, which is good for us for the time being anyways. No attacks. Oh, easy concede. Whew! And we know he's on Bogles. Wow. So the 2 revokes come in. Holy Light's okay as well if we can start getting rid of the enchantments. Journey's probably easily cut. Just obviously irrelevant. Tormod's Crypt is, for the most part, irrelevant. I'm assuming they don't run Sentinel's Eyes and it's a very mono-white heroic thing to do. No red enchantments. Last Breath can be used for us to gain life, which I don't think's particularly great. Obviously Dawnbring is really good. I'd like to have a Dawnbring in the board if I'm expecting Borgos a lot more. I think we can keep the Mirror Shell Crab in. Soul's good at blocking, so I'm happy to keep 3 of those in. Maybe I just shave on a Preordain? Maybe an Ephemerate. No, I think Ephemerate's quite good in this matchup. Could be used with Spellstuck Sprite. I forgot to update. I forgot to update the league score that I'm trying out, so I guess I'll update that for the next round. So from this, I think it's a keepable hand. I think it's fine. We have Spellstutter and Dawnbringer. I think it's fine. We need to use the Ash Barons obviously for a white source. Hopefully he has an abundant growth line, I guess. Nope. Just straight up jammed a Glade Cover Scout. Abundant growth. Get white source into Ethereal Armor, I'm assuming. Nope, in the Rancor. Okay. Gonna yield through this turn. And I'm just going to hit this. I'm just straight up going to Dawnbringer Cleric, hit the Abundant Growth, cut him from white. Do 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 do. Easy enough. Ash Barons can get a blue source. Oh god. Mask's not good. I'm taking 5 here. Obviously if we draw an Ephemerate, it's an infinitely better draw. Counter spell. Basic land cycle here. Get an island. The island lets us hold up counter spell and spell stutter. If he plays a 1-drop, I'm literally just going to spell stutter it so then I can chump. I don't think 1 damage is actually going to save anything, so probably not. Nope. No blocks. 7. A Bogle. 2 cards in hand. I'm probably actually going to let this resolve. Damn. Punished. I thought he was going to play something else. Weirdly enough, I think I'm still going to... maybe not. Ugh. Not good. Not good. Yeah, this probably would have been a lot better if I'd spell stuttered the Bogle here. Yeah, it was too greedy. Because now I was looking at Muldrifter here to try and hit a 4th land drop, to then chump with a Dawnbringer Cleric to then hit the Mask. Where now I can just hold up counterspell, chump with the Dawnbringer Cleric and hope it gets there. Hope I get my 4th land drop untapped. That's our hope. There's 3 cards in hand, so he's hitting with this. Green cover Scout's fine. Let me just Holy Light here. Oh. Get in. What a draw. Hope that's good enough. Whew. Oh. Not punished for the greedy line. Whew. Super lucky there. But I think also, on the plus side, I've genuinely tried to make the mana base as basic heavy as possible, just so we have maximum chance to get untapped lands. And including the Ash Barrens. Ash Barrens is infinitely better than Evolving Wilds in them scenarios. Because if you just need a generic land for your 5th land drop, your 4th land drop, etc., you can still play it. So that's why I've built the mana base like that. So I hope, even though it made my punt less punt-like, as you would say, but definitely clutch that happened. Cutting off the white as well was probably really clutch. But anyways, I will see you guys for round 3. Hi guys, welcome back to round 3, and we are on the draw, and this is obviously a mulligan. This plane's just ruining our day all the time, but too many expensive cards. We're pretty heavy reliant on a journey here if we were going to try and get anywhere, so we just keep on mulliganing. Mulligan at 5 here. This is a much better hand. Sending 2 back. I don't like sending two lands back, I don't think. So say if we send this back. And this, I think this is fine. This means we can counter 2 1-drops here if we see fit. We can also Ash Barrens as well. Yeah, I think this is fine. We are on the draw, however, which is a bit of a shame, but can't be helped. Green. Bogles again. Am I missing something? Well, let's hope we draw our Dawnbringers. White, I'm assuming, here for a Ethereal Armor. Nope. Okay. Glade, Ledgewalker. Not bad. Yeah. Triple Spellstutter. Well, I'm going to use the Spellstutter here to block. Get his white. I mean, I'll take that. Happily take that. Means you can't attack with these either. Block this guy. Happily eat that. What do we want to do here? I think we basic land cycle here. We get an island. And then we hold up Spellstutter again. He's probably got a mask here. He hasn't. I think I'm going to Spellstutter again. I'm just going to chump his guy. Has he got a ram through? Yeah, sure. He's got us. One, two, three, 4. We do want to keep one land, but we don't. I think I'd rather greed out another land, if that makes sense. And then I'm just gonna pass the turn. If he plays a mask here, I've got the crab. Even that is that is worth a crab. Hit for 1. Bit of an anemic. Double spell stutter. All 4 spell stutters in 12 cards. With a land. Counter it with a spell stutter here. Means you can attack. Unfortunately, I can't really do anything about that one, unfortunately. Only gets plus... Is it each other enchantment? Oh. Okay. That's not the worst, I guess. We do need to draw something. I guess that's also something. Happy to hold this back here. We have a spell stutter for 1 and 2s. I'm just going to keep countering this stuff here, trying. Obviously got the Ephemerate for a 2-drop as well. We just need to draw something relevant. I'm happy to attack for 1. Abundant growth? No, Bogle. I think Bogle's fine. I'm not too fussed. I'm not going to waste a counter spell on it. I'm obviously going to trigger this. Dawnbring is huge here. Tap for 1 here. And we've still got the counter spell up as well. He has no cards in hand. Nice. Whew! Spell stutter sprite. Absolutely doing its work. The Holy Light. And we bought it out here. Mirror Shell and 2 Journeys. Seems fine to me. That was a Malta 5 as well. I mean, we can't really complain at this end. He's got his 1-drop. Bogle. Choose some white, assuming. Attack for 1 is fine. Ephemerate. As much as I don't... Soon it's an Armadillo Cloak or a Mask. I can take a hit for 2, 3 even. To make these better, to make my lands better. I think I want to lead on Seer. Seer makes the spell stutter better and still gives us our... These are great. Top. And 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a 4-mana opener. He's going to Mask or Armadillo Cloak, I'm assuming. Yeah. And hit us for 3. fine. I don't need to blow this up as such because he's already got his white mana. 3 cards in hand. I'm just going to Dawnbringer, kill the mask. Predator now. I probably just want to continue hitting my land drops here. I don't really need a second white source as of yet. So, just going to put the Ash Barons second. Yeah, I'm not blocking, so not blocking with a Fairy Seer anyways, that is for sure. Armadillo Cloak, sure. No blocks. Play our land, attack for 1, and then just pass the turn here. I could look at... Maybe I probably do. I could look at a Faenimator now to kill the Armadillo Cloak, to play around Ram Through. Or double Ram Through more than likely. Is what I need to play around because I do have the Spell Stutter Sprite. So I think I'm just going to do that. Maybe should that. I missed out on 1 damage there then. That was my mistake. Crumbling Vestige. White. 3 mana. Another Armadillo Cloak. Sure. Interesting that he decided to play that there. He must have a Ram Through that he's going to try and kill the Dawnbringer Cleric with. Fine for taking 3, yeah. I'm obviously not blocking with the Dawnbringer Cleric. You gain your life. White Sorcerer. Rebound. I'm going to target the Dawnbringer Cleric. Kill your Armadillo Cloak. Draw for turn. I don't need to play the Archaeomancer yet. I don't think. I think I'm fine for just holding off for a bit. So I have Holy Light. If he tries to cast an enchantment on his guy, I can Holy Light. It does kill the Fairy Seer. So Holy Light on it. Kills the Fairy Seer, which is unfortunate. Cool. But then I do get a counter basically most of the 1-drops that he has to play. Or he can play. Faenimator is a good draw. I don't think I need to let my guard down yet. I can just Spell Stutter a 1-drop here. Yeah, cool. Nicely done. Whew. So, that is it for round 3, guys. 2 Bogles in a row. And I will see you guys for round 4. Hi guys, welcome to round 4. We are on the draw and this seems like a pretty good hand. I can't complain. Most likely against Boros Bully here. With that in mind, I think I'm actually just going to play Fairy Seer here. Make him think we're mono blue, which might not be worth it, but... And we do just want to keep hitting our land drops. Do I want double Ephemerate? kind of. I also want the other island. So we are against the Metalcraft version. Should we attack? Journey, Ephemerate. I like both of those. And I'm just going to play the Tranquil Cove here. Yeah. This was the reason I topped the Journey, was basically for the core Skyfisher, because it is just really annoying. Yeah, that's fine. That is the good thing about running the Fairy Seer Spellstutter Sprite kind of combo, if you will. Is basically a lot of people do fear the ninja. So I'm assuming that's the only reason he would have bolted this. Just keeps hitting his land drops. I think these are both top, but I think I draw the Spellstutter and leave the Fairy Seer on top. Hold up Crab / Spellstutter here. Most likely Crab. And then we get a Fairy Seer Spellstutter Sprite. This is fine. That's a lot of spare supplies. This is fine. I'm just going to play Fairy Seer here. I don't need a third Ephemerate, and I don't think I want an Ash Barrens either. I want to bottom the Ash Barrens. Maybe that's a bit greedy, because I do want to still hit land drops. Yep. I could have crabbed that, but I don't think it's really worth it when he's already got 5 cards in his hand. Journey. Do I care about this? I don't think I care that much, but I think I might as well try and Spellstutter this. Lightning Bolt. I'm just going to burn through his hand is my game plan here. Is this the Foundry Helix thing? Or just Electricry? Sure. Like, I have enough cards in hand to... that this is no real issue. But maybe I should have just let it go. Actually, now that I think about it. I wasn't really thinking, to be honest. Because if I just let it resolve, I could have just done bringing in Scribe 2 for free. Yeah, that was infinitely bad. I don't really know what I was thinking. But I was just trying to burn through his burn that he had in his hand, because he wasn't really playing anything. All 4 spare supplies in the top 20. Radium Fountain. Golden Egg. I don't need to exile anything. Do we think he's got another burn spell? Let's find out. Let's see if he does. Oh, I thought he did, but he was digging. Has he got it? Oh, no. As if he got there. And now he gets to resolve his whatever he wants to resolve here. Synthesizer, 3-hour inspector. Crack the clue. 3-hour inspector. I don't know what's going on with my lands here, but I think this is the board's being extended, so my lands are now over there for some reason. Oh, what am I doing? Why did I think that was preordained? But I was glad to keep it on top anyways, but I'm just going to play this out now. I don't need to destroy the journey. Just happy to gain 2 life here. One second, guys. Sorry, guys, I'm back. Draw a card, sure. Maybe get a core Skyfish or something, probably in a counter, or a Seeker of the way. But I'm not countering this air as such with the artifacts. Lightning Bolt, target the Fairy Seer. He really is scared of these fairies. Sure. One, two, three. Three bolts used in a Galv Blast. Lead on Preordain. Muldrifter. Those are both good cards. 2 cards in hand. Do we think he's got another burn spell? Let's find out. Draw the Muldrifter and a land. And then we just draw a card. Sure. Okay. That's also quite nice because he does get a resolve basically whatever he wants this turn, so with the follow-up being a journey isn't the worst. Firebolt. Very interesting deck. Glint Hawk, sure. Synthesizer, I'm assuming. I think it's called Skyfisher. Red. Called Skyfisher. Oh no, Synthesizer, obviously. In a journey. Journey in the Dawnbringer. Means he gets to attack for 2. Then he attacks, and then call Skyfisher, I'm assuming. Most likely bouncing the Synthesizer, but could also be a Golden Egg or a 3-hour Inspector. This engine is mental, I must admit. Yeah, can't rebound that. 3, 4, 5, and 2. Just gonna cast this. Do I need a journey right now? Probably not. I don't think so. If he wants to tap out for the Firebolt as well, I think I'm fine with that. Synthesizer, yes. There's 5 cards in hand. Sure. Another Synthesizer. Synthesizer, sure. Seeker. That's getting countered. I'm assuming it's Firebolton. The Muldrifter. 2, 4, 6, down 16. So we start off by journeying the core Skyfisher. Three, 4 plus 1. So we have Faenimator here, and we get back an Ephemerate. And then we get 2 Fairy Seer and Scry. Top that, top that. Gold link's fine. We are behind on time, which we do need to try and catch up on. Sack make a 2/2. No bother. I'll block this. Take 3 here. And then I'm just going to hardcast a Muldrifter. Play a land for the turn. And then we can hold up either Crab, Ephemerate, Spellstuck, Sprite, Ephemerate. And then I'm going to basically look at just casting Mirror Shell Crabs sometime soon. With 9 lands open. Glinthawk. I think I'm happy enough just trying to take out another flyer. Floating 3 mana for something. Okay. Golden Egg. Like, he has only got 18 cards. I think he's got 10 more cards. 10 less cards, sorry, than I do. So I'm assuming there's probably something. I think I'm happy enough to. Maybe I'm happy enough to trade the Muldrifter here. And take 2. Just getting the guy out of the air is probably where I want to be. Big dumb crab. This is going to hopefully keep the ground in check, I would hope. Seeker with 6 cards in hand, and he's used 1, 2, 3 lightning bolts and 1 Galv Blast. No, I think I'm fine to try and answer that with a Mirror Shell Crab. Cast an Arcane Answer. Probably 5 cards. Does he have that much burn in his hand? Most likely. So I think we just get the counter spell here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we just pass the turn, holding off again. The Raven Inspector's fine. Oh. Oh dear. So there's one ephemerate there, one ephemerate there, and one in my hand. I think I try and bait out a counter spell here, a burn spell here by targeting the spell star. He's most likely got one, and one less to my face is always a bonus. That is targeting the spell star. I don't like the idea of countering it here because I could easily die. Oh no. Yes, I can die. By 2 Galv Blasts and a Bolt. So I think I just let this resolve. But then again, he then has a 2/2 in the air. But he only has 12 cards in his hand, so he's most likely got all of the burn mentioned. So I guess we let this resolve. Gold looks fine. There's a lot of things in the air. He's down to 10 cards though. So I don't know how real the chance of decking is. Oh wow. Is this Seeker of the Way gonna outclass my Mirror Shell Crabs? Lightning Bolt. Where's the Lightning Bolt going? Six. Might be enough to chump. I chump with this because obviously it's a 6/6, so he can bolt and make it a 7/7. So I'm happy for this. This also turns on the 3 later dinners in the deck. I'm assuming this Lightning Bolt's going face, but it's not. It's going for an Arcane. So that I think I'm fine with that. Call Skyfisher. This is too much in the air. There's 8 cards left in his deck. Ugh. Don't draw it. Land. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 lands we've seen. Jeez. We are getting to the last 20 cards in our deck though, so highly likely. We're also at the point where our opponent probably has the 2 2 Garth Blasts in his hand, or if not, he's digging for them. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I ever play here. Of course, Skyfish. Like, it is a real chance that he does deck, but the board that he has is most likely going to kill us. We need something pretty big to get through this. Got 4 cards left in his deck. 3 cards. Crack it. Unless the burns the last 2 cards. Oh, there's one. So that's what he's digging for. I'm assuming we're dead. We are most likely dead. Block, 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 take. Block, block, block. Take 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. We're dead here. Got a little bit flooded there at the end. Or not enough interaction to all this burn. But top 20 and no late to dinners is pretty impressive. How worth it is these? I think these are fine. Last Breath may be fine. And the Blue Elemental Blasts get a lot better. I don't think the Dawnbringers are very good. They do hit Journey, but I don't think that's particularly something I'm bothered about. Crab's also not the greatest. I can also see cutting a Seer here. And Preordain. And maybe I don't need all of this. Three cards left to cut. 2 Journeys, 2 Last Breaths is probably pretty good. Maybe Revokes aren't what I need. Maybe the Crab isn't either. Oh, I think the Soul's probably what we want. It's quite important, I think. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. So, I think this is probably fine. I think we just submit this. And we take the play. I think this is a pretty good keep. 2 seconds, guys. Hi guys, we are back. We are joined here by Reese, another member of West Coast Gamers. So we will just lead here off the Tranquil here. So I think this is...
What are we playing against?
We are playing against Boros Metalcraft.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just going to play the Tranquil here and hold up Ash Barons and Beb. Seeker. Seeker can be journeyed and his lands can be dusted. Just got a land cycle here for Island.
You just dusted us, didn't you?
I think we just dusted his lands here. It's probably the best line. We can journey this next turn.
I think it Last Breath as well, can't you?
Probably like Last Breath in it now because that's most likely going to get worse against others than just hold up counterspell. still 5 cards in hand. And I probably don't care too much. I'd probably rather just counter a Skyfisher or something that comes down after it. Do I want to evoke a Muldrifter? I don't. So if I miss on a land drop, obviously he gets to Skyfisher or Glinthawk, which I don't know if it's the end of the world with obviously the journey to answer it, but he does start just getting the advantage. But I can't just sit here and do nothing, I don't think.
I think the Rogan's fine. You still have the dead book as well. So.
So there is something at least.
It's got all the lands.
All the non-artifact lands as well. So yeah, I just think I'd cycle this for an island. I don't think I need to journey this. I'm not particularly bothered by it right now. I think I can't spell this.
Use the second better than the first.
There's no. I just feel I don't really know. It's getting too many cards. I just want to try and slow him down until I can draw something. I don't really think I care about this. Let's get another island here. We are joined by Luna slightly off camera, as always. I think I'm going to also last breath this. With the amount of burn he has in his deck, I just want to try and preserve my life total. With 4 bolts, 4 Galv Blasts, and some amount of Fire Bolts we've seen last game. Just need to draw something relevant here.
Seems like a good target.
Target that with the spell, so he's probably going to either Pyroblast or Bolt this, I would guess. Try and keep me Spellstutter alive and an Electrickery.
I think that's fine. I think you're fine with trading types with those anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with trading these, and it also means if I do draw another Spellstutter that it's going to turn. Obviously you can counter Core Skyfishers, Seekers, that sort of thing. And I can start knocking him down from 33. This is a good draw.
Easy moment.
Easiest Muldrifter of my life. So, Preordain. Top both of these. I'm not going to Ephemerate just yet. I could Ephemerate the Muldrifter now to try and get 2 more cards.
I think it's really worthwhile.
Especially,
he has to answer it again anyway.
Especially, I guess, since I know the Arcane Monsters there. Oh. He's going to answer the... Like, if this gets to survive, this is good. It means that obviously the Ephemerate's in the bin. Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah, can you hard cast all like 1 mana off still?
I'm still 1 mana off. It's more the Ephemerate's now in exile.
Yeah.
Easy as that. Talk. This synthesizer engine is definitely a bit mad.
There's definitely a few good ones in Camille.
And the bolt. Okay. Gets the hit for 2. So he's used 2 bolts, 2 blasts. I think I'm fine with... I'll probably just Mull Drifter here. If I hit another land drop, I can Arcane Answer later dinner in the same turn.
Yeah, sounds good. You can also just like pop the food or...
I think I'll... again, I just want to try and preserve my life total.
So good.
Yeah, it's definitely really good. Hit his white sauce, but it came tapped, so the Raven's exiled. Just gonna lead on Seer here. We don't want the other Seer, I don't think, but we top the Mull Drifter.
What's the targets for this last breath?
So there's Dust to Dust, Counterspell, last breath, and there's Blur Mental Blast, which I don't think's worth it. I think we probably just get the later dinner here.
Yeah.
Means that if he does kill it, I can later dinner it back as well as an option.
And you can just pop this food, you can't get life total.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
I think it's worth company's got 3 cards. You got 10. 13 with the food.
I guess if we do...
And just pop this before damage.
Just pop this before damage, I think it's probably...
Because even if he has triple guard blast, you don't know if that works.
He's used 2 as well, so...
Yeah.
Synthesizer. There's 1. Probably targeting this.
Jesus.
Oh dear. 1 red open. Do you reckon he's got the another pyro, another red elemental blast?
You just let for dinner the soul anyway, can't you? And he can't do it with his pyro.
It's probably better than Mull Drifter
anyways. Can you
anyways.
vote for Mull Drifter first? Yeah, you could if you wanted to.
I guess if it's not the worst, I don't mind a vote on a Mull Drifter. Oh, he's completely F6 anyways.
the other ones? Crabs? No sharks.
I've taken the crabs out for game 2.
Okay,
So there's just souls. Souls and to try and Archaeomancer loop them as well. That's pretty much it. I've got no players. I'm not going to pretend like I've got something there. Just save on time since I've only got 5 minutes left. Attack is good. Heresy is not the worst draw. These letters. I don't want this Chancery. Probably want this counter spell.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
And then we just Archaeomancer here and bring back a later dinner. Play land. Do we later dinner a mole? No, actually we probably do later dinner now. I think I'm happy with later dinner and the Archaeomancer.
And just getting it back again.
And just get it back again.
I'm assuming no attacks this turn.
No attacks this turn.
May as well just have 6 in. Because they'll probably try and kill you on time.
Yeah. Red Elemental Blast on those. Spare supplies.
It's good that he's at least cracked it now, so his value train stopped.
The Fairy Seer.
Could do would find another soul.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with later dinner and Mole Drifter here.
Yeah.
I think I targeted a Mole Drifter there. Yeah, I did. It's nice.
FM works as well.
Probably don't want these. Maybe could have kept the Predator. No.
May as well get the attacking with the soul in here if you've got the ephemerate.
No real good block. He just blocks with this though.
True.
Oh dear.
For a red-white deck, it's definitely drew a few
Yeah.
cards.
He was down to 3 cards first game.
Jesus.
And he was looking for the last Galv Blast, which was the 2nd or 3rd card. Looks fine. I'm now at the point where I think he's basically...
You can't spell this egg. Are you just letting him have everything?
I'm uncertain. I think I'm now at the point where I want to just counter burn. I think.
Fair. I think you may as well pop one.
Yeah, I think we pop one and don't like go off for this ephemera yet. Five, 6, 7. So I cast this and hold up counter spell, or ephemera if I need to.
Could do it if we're getting through.
Yeah, it's just at this point trying to get through the burn, and then once I think that, yeah, that's fine. You can have all the cards. To basically make a big enough board that he can't attack and I can attack through. He's on 12 cards. Egg.
Yeah, I've only got 3.5 minutes left.
I know.
Although he's not stopping with his card drawn train.
No, no. This is all fine.
Probably could have done the crab here just to have good attacks. Sidewinder or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I just think it's too easy to block, especially like he's got 2 vigilance guys, 2/2/2s in it.
At least it eats stuff though.
It's mainly the skyfishes that's the issue here,
yeah,
but
definitely. He's not going to have that much burn left anyway, is he? Because he's used, what, 3 Valve Blasters?
yeah, so he's now used Galv Blast, Lightning Bolt, Galv Blast, Lightning Bolt, so 1 Galv Blast, 2 Lightning Bolts, and then he's at least got 1 Firebolt that I've seen. So 1 Galv Blast, 2 Bolts. But he's only got 6 cards left in his deck.
I think at this point you just try and line deck out. You can get 6 turns in before your 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes.
I just need to try and win in 2.5 minutes.
What, did you lose game 1?
Yeah, I lost game 1, yeah.
Oh.
So
that you may not be able to do.
oh dear. I don't really know what he's digging for, but he's still digging. Egg's fine.
I'm sure.
Electrickery. Is he casting it? Is that what he was digging for? His last
Like
electric?
even that isn't gonna, you could let that resolve and you won't die.
I don't think I'd really care too much, but
Just more time.
sure. You can lightning bolt the fairy seer. All my birds are gone. Just do this before combat.
I'll probably just have 6 at this point.
I'm assuming I'm not dead. From
No, you know we're close to that.
something like that. Oh, these are always so awkward to do as well when there's multiple. Especially when they start disappearing on you.
Just throw some jumps and you'll be fine. Yeah, like from there it's fine. And then
Okay.
just F6 your
Yeah.
own turn.
I think he's just trying to get alive, obviously, to try and time me out, but F16.
A minute might be a long stretch.
Yeah.
You probably need the crabs in, so you've got something fast to win with. And just try an early crab. Although it's very unlikely.
Yeah, it was just a. He had 7 cards in hand from, like, literally every turn, and I assumed he was just waiting for an opportunity to Galv Blast me to death.
Yeah.
And then it turns out he was actually hunting for 2 Galv Blasts in the last 3, like, out of 2 or 3 cards.
Probably just Spellstormer in the turn for a beer.
Probably should have preordained there.
Seconds isn't enough.
No, I don't think so. Gonna want him to death in 14 seconds.
Half a second every turn.
Probably also shouldn't have tapped my white, but
Just put them for the content.
no, a blocker.
So it didn't seem like a terrible matchup.
No, I don't think it is a bad matchup, to be fair.
Very grinding.
It just, as I've said on multiple videos, basically that I think the matchup's grinding. You just need to try and keep ahead on clock, which is the hardest thing to do. Especially the spell stutter sprite and things like that is definitely making it a lot harder.
Yeah.
But I don't think the matchup's too bad. It's just very grinding. You have to try and keep ahead on clock, and it just didn't happen this time. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys for round 5. Hi guys, welcome back to the final round, and we are on the draw, and this is an easy mulligan. I actually don't think this is too bad. We can send back the island here. We do need a white source, but I'm not particularly worried. Red. There's our white source. Are we against synthesizer again? Yeah, most likely. Oh, right, a flame. Oh, we're in storm. I'm gonna basic land cycle here for an island, for plains, and just see what he does. Star, crack, star for black. Ritual. Ritual relay. Shot. So we got flame breather, rite of flames, synthesizer, star. So with that in mind, I can't really interact with him in any sort of angle. The best angle I can kind of do is either gain 2 life to stop the win con, or make it harder for the win con, or I can exile the Rite of Flame so he loses out on a mana, which I think is probably the best option. I think from 20 it's fine. If we just exile the Rite of Flame so he loses out on a land, a mana source here, and we'll go from there. I don't think this is a particularly good matchup, but here we are. Do 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 do. Never mind, he had all 4 Rite of Flames. He had 3 in his hand. Wow. I think we are most likely dead here. Night Whisper as well, oh wow. Jesus. Any past there? Six card in hand and passed. Great. So I'm not going to try and hide anything. My hand is absolutely diabolical. I am just going to evoke a Mold Drifter here and hope for the best. Let's hope the guy can not cast 14 spells. That is what I'm hoping for. Okay, 7 spells. With 6 in hand, I imagine that's pretty likely. Oh, never mind. Literally doing nothing here, so this guy can go with his own free will. Cool. Quite glad that this is I say we top, actually I don't know why I topped the fairy there. We preordain again. I meant to bottom the fairy. Bottom the fairy. Top the crab. And then we basic land cycle for an island. Play an island. And pass. I have to try and kill him as quickly as I possibly can. So Synthesizer with 6 cards in hand that he's done nothing with. Do you know what? I'm actually just going to counter this. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to go off, he can go off. He might be flooded here, see, so. Three. If I play. And just play a land here so I can crab. Attack for 2. Manamorphose. Can't do nothing about that. Excuse me. Night Whisper. Again, I can't really do anything about that either. I'm assuming I'm most likely dead. I can try and... I think I'll let this resolve. I think whatever the next spell is, I probably have to gain 3 life. And just yield through his turn. I'm most likely dead here, yep. Manamorphose puts me at 3. He only needs 1 more spell, and then I'm dead. Yep. We drew all our reanimation things, and that was basically it. So we couldn't really fight on that angle, to be fair. 3 blue elemental blasts, 2 Tormod's Crypts. Don't know how good the revokes are to try and hit some lands. Like, I don't think it's dust to dust level worth it. Maybe I also want some Last Breath for the Flame Breathers. I feel like we're winning for him not winning is our route to victory here. So 3 souls, too late to dinners is fine. Maybe I don't want this. Maybe I don't want this, the revoke, but Dawnbringers don't do much either, so they can come out. Facing Spellstutter kind of thing is probably all what I want to keep. Maybe I don't want this late to dinner. Just stop trying to do what I'm doing and play like an evoke plan. It's probably slightly better than what we're doing. If we just try and answer all his threats, it's probably the best bet. That was an easy mulligan, obviously. Keep this. Probably send back the Chancery. No, maybe send back the planes, actually. Just going to lead on this. Oh, it's actually not too bad. It means we can hold up Spellstutter here for, well, anything. If he decides to go for it, that is. Yeah, cool. Then we can island to... we can plane, sorry, to ephemerate a Spellstutter if we feel the need to. Pyroblast is annoying. Obviously can't do anything about it. Relay for 4. It's quite a small relay. Manamorphose, star. Okay. Probably just going to evoke this Muldrifter and then play a Chancery. And Max is just going to play this island and then Preordain. Try and find some form of interaction. Like we have these two for the Flame Breathers. So if he's planning on doing another big relay here, then I can try and... Yeah. Double Flame Breather. Am I just dead? There is a chance, I guess. He needs, what, 9 spells? 10 spells? For Black Red again. Crack Star into relay. Crack Star into Deadly Dispute. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, we are super dead here. This guy's just had the nuts on us both games. Yep. Oh my god. Jesus. And he's still got 3 mana up here. Yeah, we're on 2. with your 3 cards in hand, do you have another spell? Well, there we have it. Easy 3-2, I guess. Probably should have been a 4-1, but the unfortunate Boros matchup was a bit slow. But there we have another 3-2 for you guys. And thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.